So, almost the end of another year, end of January 2023. So it's the, I'm not sure what day it is, 29th of January. So we're out walking on Salisbury Plain near Greenlands, Greenlands camp, and this is the third take every time I start recording. One of the training safety trucks turns up behind me. It's almost as though they know I'm here. Can't believe that. If I was paranoid, I would be thinking that. But so I've come off the main track just to reduce the chance of them interrupting my thoughts and my recording. But incredible day. The lights pretty stunning. Started off grey, raining yet again this morning. So I was getting very gloomy. So I was going to stay indoors, but then see some dark clouds and not the grey, but the stormy clouds. The sun was getting a little lower, and the light just was starting to be a bit more interesting. So I thought I'll venture out and walk out here. But you can see from the clouds now, it's quite an interesting night. Several rainbows a little earlier. I've watched watching a murmuration of starlings, not a big one, not a lot of birds. I don't know, what would you say, a couple of hundred, and I realised there was another bird amongst them, and it was a peregrine, and it was split the flock of starlings in two. I thought he was going to try and split the single bird off. That's what they do, and they take the bird, but it only divided them in two. It just seemed to fly right through the middle, and one flock went one way and another went the other, and it just carried on and headed out to the plain. Maybe it had already fed. Is that a word? Maybe it's already had something to eat. Maybe it wasn't hungry and was just getting on its merry way. And then after that, I saw a kestrel right by the side of the road. And as I'm standing there, my second take at recording, I think, it suddenly dropped down. It wasn't very high up, but it just dropped down to the verge and grabbed something, probably a vole or a shrew or a mouse or something like that. But then the second of the landmark training safety vehicles that turned up, he arrived, and away went the kestrel. It's disturbed it. Whether it lost its meal, I don't know. But it's quite blowy today, so I don't know if it'll pick that up. Here comes another vehicle. God, one of the most remote places in southern England, and all I do is come across very few people that are out here. So these are guys on motorbikes who, I have to say, a lot of them are just appallingly behaved and just rip up the place, and drive illegally, no number plates or anything. But those two seemed a bit better behaved. I mean, they're revving their blooming engines like mad. But just like big kids, but I suppose a lot of them are. Anyway, we are going down there. That is Greenlands camp. I think it used to be a farm years ago, 100 years ago maybe, less than that. and there's certainly an old farm building there, but now it's all just horrible sort of corrugated tin roofs, and the army go in and basically trash the place. There's graffiti everywhere over there. The motorbikes have just gone around the back of it, so hopefully I'll get down there in a bit of peace and quiet and do some more recording. So, bit of a plan B. I changed my mind, not going to Greenlands camp. Just too many off-roaders around, motorbikes and Range Rovers and such like, and I think there's just going to be too much noise. Oh God, here come more motorbikes. So I'm going to head a bit further out from Greenlands camp, along one of the trails. See the motorbikes off in the distance over there. You won't be able to see them on this, too far away. But I can certainly hear them. Not sure this mic will pick it up. So I'm just going to walk along this this trail. You can see this is a track that the army use out here. See the marks on the caterpillar tracks. So obviously tracked vehicles come out here. And there's that amazing stand of trees over there, sort of there. Scots pines. There's loads of them on the Salisbury Plain, and they just contort themselves into such incredible shapes, and you get some really amazing light out here. Just helps with the scene. The sun is sort of coming and going. Over here, you can see it's come through, and there were, what do you call it? It's a crepuscular rays reaching down to from the sun down to the earth. So I was just trying to get some pictures of that and trying to take some photographs. But, I suppose they'll come out, but sometimes it's just better to stand and stare and take it in and forget about trying to take a photograph of it. Until I start to lose my memory, that scene would always be there. Well, I'm not sure how long it would last on a digital file in a camera or on a computer. Will I outlive my computer? I don't know. Probably not. But, again, I don't know if you can hear that sound. It sounds like a halyard of a yacht. Could be in a marina with that sound, that clanking sound, but that's where they hang the red flags when the firing range is being used, or the training area is being used. So I think probably from next week, or certainly from next week, there'll be a red flag hanging from there, and I won't be able to come out here probably for quite some time, actually, because they seem to be training more and more out here these days. I remember when we first moved here, which is, blimey, must be 30 years ago, something like that. Training was far less frequent, and you could walk and ride my mountain bike out here a lot more often than I can now. This particular area is almost permanently off limits now, which is a real shame. But it's not for everybody. It's pretty bleak out here. We're in southern England, and Wiltshire, which is a beautiful county, but I don't know. It's not to everybody's taste. It's sort of rolling countryside. Although in Salisbury Plain, it's certainly not flat. It's, anybody cycled across it or with any great frequency will attest. Some pretty short, stiff climbs. But these trees behind me, these Scots pines, are starting to look a bit special now. So I think I'm going to just stop now and take some pictures. Well, I've spent some time around these Scots pine trees behind me taking photographs. It's really difficult actually in this light. I mean, you can see over there how it's really dazzlingly bright in places, and then amongst the trees it's really dark. So taking a photograph in those conditions is quite challenging. What they call the dynamic range of the scene, the extremes of light and shade. It's quite difficult, especially when you're using a camera that dates back to about 2006. So it's not the most sophisticated of cameras, but I love it. The colours and I don't know, just the look. But I was toying with the idea of going back down to Greenlands camp there. And every time I think, oh, it's quiet now, there's nobody around, because it's not late. It's, I don't know, what is it? About 2:30, 2:45, something like that. But it is very cold now. Oh wow, look at the light over there. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, some there's trees over here. If I can find my finger. Where's my finger gone? Why can't I see my finger? So, oh, look, there it is. So, Scots pine trees, they're really catching the light. And off behind them, a bit earlier, there was some amazing rainbows. Too far away for me to capture on my camera, so another one just to remember. Even if I haven't got it on the card of my camera, but who cares? But it's funny, just because it's been very quiet for a while over by the camp, and I thought, well, it's safe to go down now, and I'll do a bit more recording as I walk. And literally at the moment I got switched the mic on, got the camera out, and there was another off-road vehicle, really bizarre one. I don't know what it was. It looked like some sort of buggy with a couple of people in it. In fact, I can see it off in the distance now. They've driven off. So I was about to walk down there and recording, and they turned up, so I stopped. Anyway, it might be safe now to venture down. Wow, look at it. Look at the light. Just extraordinary. Every time you lift your camera up to your eye, it changes again, and you think, oh, that's the end of it, and the sun's gone in, and it's going to go cloudy, and you think it's going to rain, and then out it pops again, so back out with the camera. I should just stand here and wait, really, be more patient. But it is pretty cold. Well, it is the end of December, for God's sake, so it's not surprising, really. That's what it's supposed to do. But, yeah, I don't know. I get not cross, but I start to think, why don't all these people just bugger off? I don't know, if you can hear that vehicle. I like to have these places to myself and think, well, hang on, you're out here, you're wandering around and enjoying it. Why on earth shouldn't they? Not doing any harm. They're not here for long. They come out and drive around and then they pootle off somewhere else. At least I can stay out here for as long as I like, and a few minutes and they're gone, and then I have it to myself again. So I've got to share these places, I suppose. Well, I suppose we do have to share it. But as long as they don't, I don't, we don't, I'm not going to trash these places. Great fan, great supporter of the principle of right to roam, and I understand why people get agitated about it and object and say, well, people just trash the countryside. But if they appreciate it, they come out here and they love it like I do, and these people obviously do as well, then most, not all, but most of them will respect it and love it and look after it. And because if they trash it for themselves, it's for everybody else. And sure, some people don't care, but I think most do. Why would they come here otherwise? But, I think I'm gonna. Oh, look, there's Scots pines. Having walked away from them now, the one's behind me there. The lights come back out. I think I'm gonna have to go back, aren't I? I'm gonna have to try and take some more pictures. So, back in a bit. Okay, so it's been absolutely nuts throughout the last 15-20 minutes. Insane light. I was like a kid in a sweetie shop, didn't know which way to turn, running from one tree to the other, taking pictures, but then the inevitable happened and that came in. So I'm now getting down to the aforementioned camp. I'm going to try and get some shelter in one of the buildings, because this is just going to absolutely tonk it down. In fact, here it comes. I'm going to have to stop recording because I'm not sure any of this kit is waterproof, and if I don't watch where I'm going, I'm going to end up face down in the mud. Actually, it's not quite as bad. It's going to get bad, but I'll still keep going for the moment. Oh, blimey, there's a hood. Of course, it's like a quagmire down here as well. It's been so wet for such a long time, and even though the army or the military are on what they call block leave, they go on their Christmas holidays, it's because it's been wet for so long. Ground is it's just like a swamp, and they're driving all their tracked vehicles and what have you over here, and it's the landscape does take a battering. God, just look at this. Look at that stuff. I'm gonna go over there and try and get a bit of shelter. Yeah, it's really coming down now, so I'm gonna have to stop recording for a moment. Well, that was absolutely insane interlude. Heavens are really opened, absolutely pouring down. So I ran for cover in here. Really not supposed to be in here. But this is all part of the training estate, military training estate. So it's all strictly off limits, but I hope they won't mind, because I'd have been absolutely drenched out there. But funny enough, as I arrived, I was about to start recording, and I was standing in here. Mind you, if I'd had recorded, you wouldn't have heard anything, because the rain's thundering on the corrugated tin roof. But I came in and suddenly heard a voice behind me, and Guy's voice, and jumped out of my skin. Absolutely, well, I say terrified, but it really startled me. And then this guy started saying that, actually, no, that's right. And then what turned out to be his wife came in, and she said, "Oh, I recognise you," and it started this bizarre conversation, and then eventually realised who it was. A friend of my wife's, who I hadn't seen for a very long time, and so two of them on their mountain bikes, and they'd come to shelter from the rain, just like me. So very pleasant discussion in there. We've now got a break in the weather, so I really need to get home. But my goodness, look at this light. This is just incredible. Behind that structure there, I can hear shouting off in the distance, and what I think is hunting horns. Who's got the hunt on out here? But anyway, I'm not going to hang around much longer. I need to get back. It's getting late. But yeah, this is Greenlands camp I've been talking about all afternoon. Lovely, isn't it?